It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. In today's video titled Small Trade War and February the 14th, I want to take the time and go through what I feel God has been showing me all along about tariffs, as well as its connection to this possible connection to this February 14th date. And so this will be the third video that I'm putting out this year, and the third video where I am talking specifically about this February 14th date. But in this video, I want to look more at what could possibly take place on this date based on the connections that I'm about to share. Before I get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I am simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. Now let's get into the video. In the first video, I shared and demonstrated how I derived the date. And in the second video, I also share how I'll derive this date in a different way using what I feel like I now understand about the October 17th date and how that date is connected to four key factors that includes, but is not limited to, just a market crash date, but a collapse or crash of a government or an economy of some sort. So in a nutshell, in these two videos, at some point, I shared the date of February 14th and how it was derived. Now, again, in this video, I want to focus on tariffs and how I feel God has brought me to this idea that it's possible that something to do with tariffs, news, or something will come out on February 14th. And to get started, I want to go back to two dreams. One happened on June 27th and the other happened on June 28th. So one behind the other. And so my question is, are these two dreams that have two different messages or just one? Very quickly, in the Chiquita banana dream, I saw a circle, and the circle had banana slices all layered, one on top of the other, slightly one on top of the other, making a yellow color at the top, and at the bottom, it was all filled in with red. In the Tupac dream, there was a lot going on, but what specifically stuck out to me was the mini casket, a mini white casket inside of this mini box. And on the front of the box, there was a picture of a flag that was painted on, hand painted on, but the flag was backwards. And so we're doing research. I found out that a backwards flag means marching towards war. And so I will expound on that in just a minute. So my original research on this banana dream stopped with me looking at where this banana company was located. And because God has been dealing a lot with me as it relates to war, I decided one day to do a random search for banana war. And to my surprise, there was a such thing as banana war. It was a trade war, and it had to do with tariffs. And from this banana war, there was something that was created called a Small Wars Manual. And I'm guessing that this manual was based off of the experience that had taken place during this banana war. So small war stood out to me. Not the word trade war, not tariffs, none of that stood out. The only thing that stood out to me was small war. Why? Because going back to the dream I had the following day, because I saw the mini casket, and because I saw the backwards flag, that meant marching towards war. And for me, I understood that to mean mini war or small war. And so now I'm connecting the banana dream to the Tupac dream, simply based on the small casket, mini war, the banana war, and the Small Wars Manual that was created based on this banana war experience. Now, as I go back and I take a look at what was all involved as far as this banana war, I see trade war. I see that it was about that. I see that it was also about tariffs. And so now the key words is not just small war, but it's also trade war and tariffs. I shared in another video that a date that I derived was November 6th through November 6th or November 7th. I shared that, and after doing so, I found out that on November 6th, you had the collapse of the Germany coalition, or what they call themselves to be the traffic light. The red light fired the yellow light because the yellow light would not raise the debt ceiling. And once that happened, it caused the collapse or the crash of this coalition. I've already talked about that and I've shared that in a previous video, But what stands out is what happened next. Germany must prepare for Trump tariffs. And although we're hearing in recent talks about tariffs as it relates to China and Mexico and Canada, we're hearing all of this. This one about Germany sticks out to me simply because it was a date, or it happened on a date that I derived. So I praise God for the understanding that He's given me as it relates to how to go about deriving these dates. So now what I want to do is I want to look at combining the recent news that we're hearing about tariffs as it relates to Canada, Mexico, and China. And I want to combine that with my old dreams that I had back in 2024. So I believe that God has been revealing something to me about tariffs and small war and trade war using these dreams all along. And I'm now just recognizing it, which is absolutely fine because God's timing, as far as our understanding in all of this, is perfect. So were these two dreams from June 2024, were they depicting the U.S. will be involved in a small trade war dealing with tariffs that will affect our markets negatively? Or are these two dreams depicting that the U.S. will be involved in a small, meaning not lasting a long time, a small physical war that would affect our markets negatively? Or is this depicting both? Again, I'm looking at those keywords, trade war, tariffs, small war. And that is where I'm getting these questions. Again, is it depicting a small trade war and tariffs involving the U.S.? Or is it depicting a small physical war involving the U.S.? Or is it depicting both? Now getting back to that February 14th date, because the banana dream included the colors of yellow and red, as I shared in the October 17th video, this is connecting to October 17th. This is connecting to 100 days. What each color represents. Red represents 60, yellow represents 40. And so what I did was I combined those two colors together. I began my count from November 6th, the day that this collapse happened. And counting forward 100 days gave me February the 14th. So my question here is, will there be major news about trade war and tariffs on February 14th? Again, this is what I'm praying about. Is there a possibility that what takes place on February 14th will have anything to do with the trade war and tariffs? So that is all that I have for this video. Until the next one, God bless.